Okay, this is the install for a Dension Gateway 500 into a Porsche 997.1. This is a 2006 model without a CD changer or navigation unit. These are the parts and tools that I used for it. On the left you have all of the Dension equipment. Actually it comes with a lot more, but you don't really need to use all of that. So let's so I have the installation type 3A on the instruction manual. That's the one we'll be following. The Dension unit, a coupler, the fiber optic hookup, the harness that it comes with, and you'll see it's the one that says car side, and it only has one end. And then the analog auxiliary switch, the power cables, and the iPod adapter. And then the rest of the stuff, real quickly, part of the prep you'll have to do is figure out how you want to mount the unit on the either to the carpet, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm using the Velcro. Is actually the hook side of the Velcro. Otherwise you'll have to get some screws and actually go into the there's some place attachment points for the unit. Also, Radio Shack. This is you'll need two of these to make the power connections easier. This is 18 to 14 gauge wire couplers, the blue ones. A Torx 25 screwdriver, pair of needle nose pliers, a pair of regular pliers, a small flathead screwdriver, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Now, optionally, I had trouble with a part of the install, so you'll see that in a little bit, but I used these tools and a pair of scissors to cut some wire ties. Okay, so another part of the prep is actually to get the CD changer enabled at the dealership. They said it would last, it took them 10 minutes. They charged me a little bit of money, but not a full hour's worth of labor. So they this is what they did. They changed the setting, and this is what comes up whenever you turn on your radio. And you can enter on through, and your radio works fine, but that message will come up every time you turn on the radio. And you need that enabled. The CD changer needs to be enabled for the Dension to work. Okay, let's get to the installation. Alright, this is the trunk, and so what we're going to do, I actually already unloosened or removed the Phillips head screws. You can see there I think 7 or 8 around, and what we'll do, we'll just remove. Okay, removing those makes it a little easier. What I also did was I loosened up their 3 Torx screws in here. There's one there, one there, one there. I loosened them up. I didn't remove them, but I loosened them just so it makes this a little more flexible. This is actually 2 pieces. So here's one, here's the other. And then also, so as you pull this off, there's going to be a light, actually the trunk light, right there. So you're going to have to remove this before. It gives you a little bit of play, but and you can see right there. It gives you a little bit of play, but you'll have to remove that. And then this piece comes off, and here we go. That's our start. And then what we're going to focus on next is where the fiber optics come in. Okay, this is where we need to find the fiber optics. Now mine, remember, does not have navigation or the CD changer. So there's a closed loop system. We need to locate the connector, and mine is right behind the auxiliary tank for the braking system. And so you can see I've already loosened it up, but this took me a long time to pull out. You should be able to get this with needle-nose pliers, but it took me a while, and you can see it's kind of mangled. But anyway, so there's that, and then right behind there are two places where there are plastic wire ties. I actually cut those with a pair of scissors because what happens is this actually loops around and it goes down. You can see the orange wires down there. But this will give you some extra play in the wire, so you can actually disconnect and reconnect. And so what we'll do is just pull this out, and there it is. And the next thing we're going to do is actually just disconnect this. It's a snap, and there that goes. Okay, now we're going to do the fiber optic connection, and I'm following the Dension diagram installation type 3A, and you'll see what we want to do is patch into the existing loop and get the Dension connected. Okay, here we have the fiber optic disconnected, and what we want is, you'll see on this one, we want the bottom one where my thumb is. So on the male version of this connector, so the one that goes around, we want the bottom side. And so what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this wire. We're going to plug in the harness, and so give you a quick preview. So I already have the harness, or the coupler, on here, so we're going to disconnect this side right here, the bottom side, and then we're going to connect that wire into this, and then that will feed in, and you can see that that is the non-car side, okay, into the piece that goes into the Dension, and then the car side actually replaces the optic that we pulled out here. So let me do that and show you the finished product. And also you're going to see there's a blue piece that's a locking piece. You're going to have to pull that out first before you start yanking these out. There'll be a click, and when it pulls out, and then a click when you push it back in. They're fairly stiff to get in and out, so don't be afraid to pull. Okay, let's review. This is everything all hooked up. So we have, let's see, this is the piece that we pulled out of the harness, and again you'll see the bottom is the piece that says car side. Make sure we do that right. And then the other piece is here, that's with the coupler, and that's the other side. And then we'll hook this back up, hook it into Dension, and get the power going. We're going to make sure that our Dension unit has the right toggles on the 1 through 6 switches, and we are going to connect it, what we just did, to the left side. And let's just do that. Okay, and there we go. That is our fiber optic side for the Dension, and we're going to work on power next. Okay, for the power, we're going to use the power cable supplied with the Dension, and we're going to use, this is actually how it was sitting in my car, but this is the, I think, the CD changer, the existing CD changer wiring, pre-wiring. And so what we're going to do is we're going to connect the ground, or the black, to hopefully you can see this, the brown, and we're going to use the blue couplers that we got from Radio Shack, and then the red and green we're going to use for our positive power. And so I'm just going to hook this up and then plug it into Dension, and we'll see if it works. I didn't want to skip any steps, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to make this a little cleaner, and so what I did, I ran the power from here, which is the power connector. I actually ran it through this hole here and behind, and I fished it through behind this bracket. And what I did was I actually used a little cable tie, and then what I'm going to do next is connect these two into the power source here. And so that should make it, and I think I can push this back behind, and it'll make it look cleaner, but also give me some flexibility in case I need to remove or move it, whatever. Okay, here we go. This is all connected, and remember, brown and black and red and green and red, and so you can see it kind of tucks in nicely. It's not too messy. And on this side we're going to connect the power. Okay, and you notice nothing happened. So we need to plug in the auxiliary port, actually the switch, and we'll get a blue LED light, and we'll show you that. Okay, here is the switch that I was talking about, and that's actually your service switch. So in case you go to a dealership, it's very easy for them to say something's wrong unless that switch is turned. And so we plug that in, and we're going to go turn it on and see that it works. Okay, here you can see, I actually just stopped. Let's disconnect this again and reconnect it, and you can see the blue LED. That means there's power, it's working. So let's hook up the iPod and go check out the head unit. Alright, we've just hooked up the iPod into the appropriate connector. It's actually right next to the USB. But we have the connector here, and this will focus. Okay, it is not charging right now in the car. The ignition is off. So let's change the ignition and make sure it's charging. Okay, we hooked up the iPod. You may be able to hear music behind me. It's actually playing, but the key thing is that it is charging, and this is a good connection. So this is what it's supposed to look like. You can see the iPod's playing. It's the only thing connected. The text is showing. If yours is not showing, I bought mine from Bumper Plugs. You can email Eric and he'll get you instructions, or search around on some forums. Some guys have been able to figure it out. But you can see CD list 5 is your iPod or USB, whatever source, and you can go through all the tracks, and you can see mine, or if you want, you can go to playlist, which is actually CD1, and then you can go track lists, and then you can search through your playlist there, and that's what I do, and then go back to iPod, and it's actually your iPod. Actually, sorry, it's your list, it's your playlist that comes up now. So that's the install. Hope you guys don't have any problems, but it was fairly easy enough that I wanted to video it. So